Today we're going to make this delicious vegan meatloaf. Let's get started. We want to cook our onions first, so I'm adding a bit of oil to the pan, then letting my onions cook until they're translucent. I will stir from time to time to ensure all the onions are cooked evenly. I chopped some mushrooms earlier, so we will add this to our onions along with the chopped celery and some chopped red pepper. I will toss a bay leaf to allow the flavor to infuse with my vegetables. We do want to remove it later. The last two spices to mix in are my basil and oregano. Now that all the ingredients are in the pan, I will give it a good stir and let everything cook. In a few minutes it should be done, and I will remove it from the heat and save it for later. Remember to remove the bay leaf. I put some walnuts into my mixer and let it do the fine chopping. I want the walnuts to be nice and small. I will be adding the flax that has been sitting in the water. After about 5 minutes in the water, the flax will have a thicker consistency. This will act as our binder, as an egg would in most recipes. I'm adding my tofu that I crumbled into pieces earlier. I do this by hand, and it doesn't take very long or have to be perfectly even. For additional flavor, I'm adding a full package of onion soup mix. Lastly, I'll add 2 tablespoons of tamari and give it a blend. Make sure everything is well combined. Now that the blending is done, I will add this tofu mixture to my bowl with the cooked vegetables. It should look nice and thick like this. I will give it a little mix before I add my breadcrumbs. I bought store breadcrumbs. It's hard finding vegan ones, so if you want to make your own, that's good too. Now everything is in the bowl. I'll give it one last good stir to ensure it's all evenly combined together. Take a loaf pan and line it with parchment paper, and then simply add your meatloaf mixture to the pan. I will press it down to compact the tofu mixture, so when it's done, it won't fall apart. For the topping on the meatloaf, we will add our brown sugar and mustard to our ketchup and whisk it all together. You don't need to add a topping at all. I just think it looks nice and adds some flavor. You could also try a teriyaki or hoisin sauce for a different take as a topping. If you do have this meatloaf plain, you could also serve it with a nice mushroom or brown gravy. Now spread the sauce we just created on top of the meatloaf. It will make for a really lovely topping once it's cooked. Finally, we're going to pop this in the oven at 350 degrees for 45 minutes. This meatloaf is done, and it's nice and easy to do. And you get to make a really nice meal with some sides. But the other great thing about a vegan meatloaf is you could make a lunch the next day and just make a nice sandwich. I hope you give this recipe a try and let me know what you think in the comments below.